The Royal Rumble 2025 is in the history books, and the biggest Royal Rumble of all time has produced some of the biggest talking points in Rumble history. We kicked things off with the Women's Royal Rumble, and immediately as Alicia Taylor was making the announcements, we saw that we were going to have a new presentation with new graphics along the bottom of the screen, which showed us when people were eliminated, how many eliminations they got, how many people were remaining coming to the ring. It gave it a real different presentation. I actually enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but for me it didn't distract away from the action, and it actually was a good addition to the Rumble. So in my opinion, I liked it. The first two entrants in the Women's Rumble match were Io Sky and Liv Morgan. And as soon as Io Sky drew number one, I just knew that my prediction was going to be wrong. Now, it's always good to start a Royal Rumble match with two very strong competitors that can, last the majority of the match and can make things look smooth throughout the entire hour or so of the match's longevity. And in Liv Morgan and Io Sky, you've got two professionals who are just incredible at what they do and have carried the women's division on their back over the past few years now. You saw that professionalism when Liv Morgan hit Lyra Valkyria with a forearm smash to the back, just to allow her to sort out that wardrobe malfunction, which was, it's one of those things that goes unnoticed to the casual fan, but as someone that, you watch wrestling for a long time, and you see her struggling with a top there, it's just that little bit of professionalism that, I'm sure means that Liv Morgan is becoming quite the locker room leader. Now, if we had strong competitors in our first two entrants in Io Sky and Liv Morgan, it was actually the third entrance, which was my first major player and major standout performance in the Women's Rumble match, and that is Roxanne Perez. Now, Roxanne Perez, this was her third Royal Rumble, I believe. She entered at number 3, and she lasted all the way to the final two, where she ultimately got eliminated by Charlotte Flair. Now, Roxanne Perez was my first standout performer. She was strong throughout this entire match, got a good few eliminations under her belt. And my second standout performer in this match is going to be Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile, when she came in, had a fantastic showing. She got probably the biggest pop I've ever seen her get when she hit a double German suplex on Chelsea Green and Roxanne Perez, actually. And she had such a strong showing. She eliminated Lyra Valkyria, signaling that she's coming for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I just thought, as far as looking good in a match goes, Ivy Nile did a great job here. And her elimination to Maxine Dupree with that continuous storytelling that we're seeing more and more so in this era, I thought really good performance from Ivy Nile, and she's my first standout performer in this match. As for my second standout performer, well, that's going to go to this woman right here, Jordynne Grace. Now, Jordynne Grace is now officially under the WWE umbrella, as Michael Cole called it. And, I mean, last year she had such a tremendous show and entering as the TNA Knockouts champion. And what a surprise entrance it was last year and the impact she made in that match. This year, you can just tell Jordynne Grace is so good at what she does. So smooth in the ring. Everything means something. The crowd was so behind her, and she's going to be a major player going forward in the WWE. My third and final major standout player, major top performer in the Women's Rumble match is going to go to Nia Jax. Now, there were a few candidates to get into my top 3 here, and I just think the work Nia Jax has done since she's come back has been so underrated by a lot of people. She has really shown that she can be such a great story component in women's wrestling. I know she's still got a story going on with Tiffany Stratton, and just her presence in the Rumble match has been great. Now, the only downside of this, and this isn't Nia's fault, is I just did not like the Nia Jax bowling ball spot where she eliminated about, I think it was 6 women in the end, as if they were bowling pins stood on the apron. The issue with this is that within them 6, you had people like Io Sky and Bianca Belair and Naomi, people that are major players in the women's division. And what that meant was that when we got to the final 4, the final 3, and you had Charlotte there, and you had Nia, and you had Roxanne Perez, it got pretty obvious that this was going to be Charlotte Flair's Royal Rumble, and it just kind of took away from that tension that you usually get in the final 4 spot. Now, whether this was done by design to mean that people couldn't get on Charlotte Flair's back, we'll never know. We're not the people that write the match. But Charlotte entered to a good pop, and she got a good victory. And my standout moment from the Royal Rumble match has to be Alexa Bliss's WWE return. She returned at number 21 with a Fiend Forever writing on the back of her jacket, and this pop she got this sustained pop. It kept going and going and going. Stone cold level pop for the Alexa Bliss return at the 21 spot, which is now becoming synonymous with major returns in a Royal Rumble. We had Edge a few years ago, we had Alexa Bliss tonight, and we also had another major return at 21 in the Men's Rumble. So great to see Alexa back. It looked like she was holding back tears when they showed her face on the camera in that little stare off with Bayley as she entered. I just wish she got a bit more of a showing, but regardless, great to see the Goddess back in the WWE ring, and interesting to see where she goes from here. She could go into the Wyatt 6. She could go her own separate way. We'll have to wait and see. But she did come out with Lily the Doll, which kind of tells me that there's some spooky shizzle about to go down. So yeah, as we mentioned, Charlotte Flair, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, and to be expected. So now she'll go on to either face Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. And I mean, we've seen Rhea Charlotte before at Mania. They had that incredible match a few years ago, and then they had a decent match during COVID. So logistically, you would imagine that she would be going for Tiffany Stratton for a fresh matchup at Mania. That should be interesting because it looks like Charlotte Flair is a face in this circumstance, and I don't think the crowd are going to take too kindly for her trying to dethrone Tiffany Stratton. But regardless, I think the crowd are going to be invested. I think we could potentially see a double turn. So there's a lot of things to look out for. And this woman's Royal Rumble was a good one. I'm going to give it 4 smoothies out of 5 smoothies. I thought it was a solid. The only reason it didn't get 5 smoothies is a personal bias, of course, as a rating system. That number 30 spot, I was holding out, hoping it was AJ Lee, and it was such a big disappointment. Nikki Bella's back. It was a big surprise. She's just not AJ Lee for me. Moving into our second match of the night, and we had the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I've got to say, it's just incredible to see DIY and Motor City Machine Guns performing in front of 70,000 plus people in a main PLE for the WWE, one of their big 4 PLEs of Royal Rumble, probably their top 2, I would say. Now, it got off to a great start here. DIY got the first fall, doing the fake tag spot that we saw Sheamus and Cesaro utilize to end the New Day's record-breaking reign at the time. And I always like it when heels are sneaky with their wins. This one a bit more of a like grey area for me though, because this isn't like cheating to get a fall. This is them being smart, and it's good to get smart heels. I didn't hate seeing it here. I just don't know if I love seeing it here, if you know what I mean. Motor City Machine Guns though got themselves back into the match. They made it 1-1 with a clean as a whistle fall. Hitting the skull and bones on Johnny Gargano, and at that point we're tied up 1-1 and the match was running smoothly. They got the stadium into the match and I was like, okay, we're cooking here. Fortunately then the finish fell flat for me. I understand using interruptions in matches to progress a story. Sometimes it works. I guess a good example would be Sting interrupting the Survivor Series main event. One example. There's a few out there. That's just the first one that comes to the top of my head. Sometimes it doesn't. I can think of Jay getting pulled out by Jimmy Uso being a major one. And this one, I'm not sure if I like the Street Profits getting involved here, especially with the confusion around they were attacked by DIY, but they cost Motor City Machine Guns. Now, Michael Cole tried to explain this, saying that the Street Profits want to take the titles from DIY, which I get it. And it does mean there's going to be tension going forward between Motor City Machine Guns and Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns and Street Profits and DIY and Motor City Machine Guns and DIY with Street Profits. I think you get the picture. But for me, though, a 2 out of 3 falls match, I would have liked this to have gone, not necessarily the cleanest finish in the world, but I would have liked this to have just been settled between the two teams and go in a different direction. But hey, I can't complain. It was good. It was solid. The crowd were invested. No one got hurt. 3 out of 5 smoothies for me, I'd say. I almost went 3.5. I just feel like it was a tough spot after the Women's Rumble. Some big returns. The crowd were obviously a bit like trying to recover their breath. So yeah, three smoothies out of 5 here. Solid stuff. And there's some interest going forward between the Street Profits DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, our third match of the night here was Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. And this match was fantastic. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens obviously have great chemistry. They've been cutting some of their best work the past few months. And even before the bell rang, the crowd were on their feet. You could tell this was a big match feel. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens had the crowd on the edge of their seats throughout this entire match. Now, there were so many fun spots in this match. The fighting through the crowd, the hitting the beer over their head. It looked like a proper barroom brawl. They get back to the ring. They're using a small ladder. The small ladder actually almost making this match a triple threat match. The small ladder was doing some work here. Probably put on more moves than Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, to be honest. I do like Kevin Owens' character, the climbing the small ladder, pretending he's going to jump off, only to jump down and kick Cody. These are traits of Kevin Owens that the crowd have come to know and love. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but man, oh man, he proved in this match he is a threat. Now, this really picked up in the final third of the match where, you know, there was the ladder bridge set up between a ladder set up in the middle of the ring, the ladder bridge across the rope, and Kevin Owens picks Cody up on the top rope. Cody was going for the superplex. He hooks the leg. He does the fisherman buster off the top rope onto the ladder. And at this point, I thought Cody Rhodes had died. Such a nasty bump. And at this point, Sami Zayn come out. And at this point, you're thinking, oh my God, what is happening here? Because obviously we saw the story parts of Sami saying that, you know, or Kevin Owens, sorry, saying like, you know, maybe you should come help me against Cody Rhodes if you want that main event at WrestleMania. I'll help you win the Rumble. Now, Sami Zayn actually chose not to get involved despite being visibly distraught throughout the few moments that went from here. From here, we ended up with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes on the announce table, and Kevin Owens was going for that package pile driver, and Cody reversed it, gave him the big back body drop, and Kevin Owens took one of the nastiest landings I've ever seen. He folded like a pretzel in that ladder, and that was game over. From here, Cody climbed up the ladder, retrieved the belt. Massive moment. The crowd loved the match. And from here, we saw a bit of a darker side of Cody, a bit of an aggressive side. Something we saw him bring out in France against AJ. He won. There was no remorse. You could see the fire in his eyes. And we might be getting a heel Cody sooner than we think, because Cody Rhodes, you know, he didn't just walk away from this match. He walked up to Kevin Owens. He made sure he was down. He posed over the man in one of the craziest camera shots, one of the hardest camera shots that you will ever see. And Cody Rhodes is strong going into Mania, and it's going to be very interesting seeing who goes up against him here. From here, we go into the Men's Royal Rumble match, and this match lived up to the billing, and in many eyes, loads of people were happy. In some eyes, people weren't, and I find that very intriguing. This is a match that followed a similar kind of structure to the Women's Rumble match. Two very strong starting entrants in Penta and Rey Mysterio. Rey entering at number 1, Penta at number 2, and the crowd were loving this. Two of the biggest luchadors in the world going head to head. And we actually saw a bit of a luchador concept in the opening stages here. We saw Santos come out. We saw Andrade come out. Santos actually having a very strong showing here. Hitting people with their own moves, hitting the 619 on Rey, hitting the Canadian Destroyer on Penta, or the Mexican Destroyer, I should say. Santos having a very strong show, and actually, I'm going to put him in one of my top performers, my top 3, because this match had a lot of things going on, but not many standout performances. And I think in the opening couple moments here, Santos did well. Now I'm going to go into my second stand-up performer, which was Bron Breakker, who entered at number 7 and probably got the most viral moment in this Rumble match. Now, Bron Breakker come in and speared the living out of everybody. And then when Speed come out at number 8, which was a surprise that I actually really enjoyed. You saw Akira Tozawa get attacked by Carmelo Hayes as he was making his entrance. You cut to Gorilla, Triple H saying, Speed, you're going. Speed live streaming at the time. Just some crazy work going into all of this. Speed enters the Rumble. He eliminates Otis. He hits a backflip and a suey. And then Bron Breakker, you see him in the background hitting the ropes, and he hits Speed with such a nasty spear. Speed actually looked like he landed partly on the side of his neck, so he's going to be hurting today, I can tell you that much. Gorilla presses Speed, chucks him over the top rope, caught by Otis, who just chucks him onto the announce table, eliminates Speed. This was a moment, but Bron Breakker this entire Rumble just looked like a force to be reckoned with. You had him coming in, destroying everybody. You had the spear on Speed. You had the spear on Reigns, and my God, what a fucking spear that was. You had the showdown with Jacob Fatu. So many things were going on here. Mentioning Jacob Fatu, he's going to be my third and final standout performer here. Jacob Fatu coming in, eliminating, I think it was 4 people, dominating. Stare downs with everybody. He just carried this middle section of the Rumble match. And my God, Jacob Fatu, a Mania main event is coming in the future. And a big match, I imagine, is coming at WrestleMania. Although it might be a tag title, as we saw that teased on SmackDown. We're going to have to wait and see. We saw a big appearance here at number 15 by Joe Hendry, and he got some good moments in this match. He got to eliminate The Miz. He got the big stare down with Roman Reigns, who ultimately eliminated him. But cool to see the Impact World Champion in a WWE Royal Rumble match. Obviously, we saw it last year with the Women's World Champion. But, I mean, imagine if we got Samoa Joe or AJ Styles back in the day. Holy moly. But still cool to see that WWE TNA partnership. Now we head to the number 21 entrant, and like I said, this kind of followed a similar structure to the Women's Royal Rumble match. Number 21, AJ Styles made his return with his classic, phenomenal CFO Money theme song, CFO Dollar. So much better than Death Rebel. Holy moly, did they stink up this Rumble with some of their themes. AJ Styles, huge return, coming back into the match. I wish we saw more face-to-face moments between him and Cena and CM Punk. I get AJ is in the latter stages of his career, but he's such an icon to the sport, and I just wish AJ got them moments, to be honest. But it's still a strong showing in this Rumble regardless. And as we entered the 20 to 30 stages, my God, some of these entrances that were coming out, you had Jay at 20, 21 was AJ Styles, and then after that, I think you had Cena, you had Punk, you had Rollins, Reigns was still in there. He entered number 16. LA Knight come in, Damian Priest come in, Logan Paul at number 30. Some of these names were just like Sami Zayn. Star power, star power, star power, star power, star power. Now, you saw some of these names get thrown out. Drew McIntyre, I didn't even mention here, getting thrown out by Damian Priest. And some rumors that he was unhappy about the elimination. I think there was some moves going on in front of his elimination, which perhaps was the case. But I mean, Royal Rumble, you've got so many bodies in the ring, these things are going to happen every now and then. Drew, I'm sure, is going to get a main match at Mania regardless. From here, we saw the bodies start dropping, and then we enter our final 6. And we got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and John Cena. What a final 6, by the way. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins start clearing house. You get proper Shield vibes, and then it cuts such a great camera shot. You got Seth Rollins facing the camera, and you got Roman Reigns eyeing him up behind me. Roman and Seth go to war with each other. The hatred still very much alive. Roman is almost eliminating Seth Rollins. Seth is hanging onto that top rope, and CM Punk comes from behind and dumps both their asses over the top rope to one of the biggest pops of the night. And at this point, I was shocked. And that lasted for about 4 or 5 seconds before I was even more shocked, because CM Punk, who I thought was going to win this Royal Rumble, is dumped over the top rope by Logan Paul, and we have now got Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and John Cena as our final 3. And at this point, my brain is telling me John Cena's going to go on to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes or Gunther for his 17th World Championship. Man, was I wrong. You get a bit of back and forth between Jey and Logan here. You get Cena come in, get involved. Cena has Logan up, going for the attitude adjustment. Jey Uso hits him with a super kick. Logan falls onto the rope. Cena clothesline Logan, over the top rope. And now we've got a final 2. You got the 16-time world champion John Cena, and you got the man, the Yeet Man, Jey Uso, who has been carrying this company on his back now. Most matches in 2024, most merchandise sold, I think 2 years running. WrestleMania main event a couple years ago. World title matches scattered throughout the year. Never won the world championship though. Only got the IC championship for 28 days. And at this point, I was rooting for Jey Uso. Now, I didn't expect him to win, however. We got so many back and forths. You got them climbing out to the apron, both trying to climb back in. I like that spot. Jey hitting a super kick on Cena. Cena faking the elimination, falling out, holding on, bringing himself back in. That was a sick moment. And eventually you get Cena hoisting Jey up for the AA. You think he's going out the Finn Balor route, because we saw Cena eliminate Finn the same way at the start of the match. But Jey falls into the ring, pushes Cena. Cena lands on both feet. Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, has won a Royal Rumble match and is heading to the main event of WrestleMania. What the fuck just happened? Now, I personally enjoyed this moment. I've been a big advocate for Jey Uso becoming a world champion since about 2015, when I said it as a joke between friends in my group chat. I was happy. However, I go online and obviously I see a load of discourse because, you know, you've got the biggest Royal Rumble of all time. You had people wanting Punk to win, people wanting Cena to win, people wanting Reigns to win. These are iconic names in WWE history, and you can understand why people would want them to win. But WWE are running into this problem now, and it's a good problem to have, where you can have some of the most over guys in the business winning the Royal Rumble match, and people are still not happy, which is wild. This year you had Jey Uso with people wanting Cena, Roman, Punk to win. Last year you had Cody Rhodes with people wanting Jey, Sami, Gunther to win. Before that, Gunther to win as well. It's a good problem to have. It's going to cause talking points. Now, as we head to WrestleMania, we got no idea what the fuck direction we're going in. It looks like Jey's going to go for Gunther. He's teased it before, but we did just see Jey Gunther at Saturday night's main event not even 7 days ago. So is there a swerve happening here? Are we going to see Cody lean more into that dark side? Are we going to see Jey go after Cody? If Jey doesn't go after Cody and he does in fact go for Gunther, then the Elimination Chamber match winner, you'd imagine, would go for Cody. Cena needs his 17th. Punk wants his WrestleMania main event. Sami Zayn has just witnessed Cody not just beat his friend Kevin Owens, but also stand over his limp, lifeless body. And Sami wants that World Championship, and he's seen the main event before. There's a lot going on here. A lot of puzzles to be solved, a lot of pieces to puzzles that could go in multiple positions. Man, WrestleMania is going to be one to see. The Men's Royal Rumble, I'm going to give it 4 smoothies out of 5. I think I personally would have liked to see more face-to-faces, if that makes sense. I would have loved to see a standoff between AJ and Cena, AJ and Punk. I would have loved to have, although we got it, that moment between Reigns, Cena, then we saw the Reigns, Cena, Punk, then we saw the Reigns, Cena, Punk, Seth. I would have loved that standalone Punk, Cena moment, maybe working together, maybe just staring down, being like, look at us. I think there were ways there could have been more of those moments showcased in this match. However, what a match. Loads of moments. Jey winning the biggest Rumble of all time. And we're on the road to WrestleMania, baby. Now, that has been my Royal Rumble review. What did you think of the Royal Rumble? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this Rumble review and you want to see more reviews going forward, so more WWE PLEs, then please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more of them. Let me know in the comment section as well. What a show, what a night. Jey Uso is heading to the main event of WrestleMania. I've been JD, and until next time, have a good one.